Congratulations, gentlemen, on your award for the most significant contribution to Frameworx. So tell me, what was the contribution?
Okay, so the contribution to Frameworx in this case was showing the use of a number of TM Forum assets, in particular the B2B ETOM touchpoints and the patterns within the SID that support metadata, and how those assets can be used to support both a dynamic marketplace and then flow through to the dynamic orchestration of NFV services.
So if memory serves me correctly, you guys are no strangers to awards because both of you individually won Catalyst Awards last year. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So last year, our company, DGIT, we won the award for most significant contribution to Frameworx.
Yet again.
And we've taken it a second time, but this time with our partner here, EnterpriseWeb, who won the award for most innovative catalyst last year for their NFV orchestration solution. So, Dave?
So this is almost a natural coming together of two different halves of the same coin. So Greg's great work with Digit has represented the B2B marketplace, as he explained, sort of what we might refer to as the northbound side, right? The business side and the ordering of products. And we represent the carrier virtualization side, the side that translates product orders into services that are delivered over the network. The two of them naturally come together, and we're leveraging the TMF assets, in particular the Open Digital REST API, and then to communicate, it becomes a standard interface, which we actually were able to integrate our two companies in less than a day of engineering time, which is pretty fantastic, right? And what's more interesting is the Catalyst is called dynamic APIs. So we're doing something much more than just using a static API. We're actually leveraging both of our technologies on either side of that API to recognize that the marketplace is actually fluid, right? His marketplace is fluid. On the virtualization side, it's also very fluid. The providers of network services and virtual network functions are fluid. The state of the networks themselves is very fluid. So you can't have a static exchange of information. It has to be very flexible to support the actual state of the network and the state of your functions. And working with Digit and their Catalyst, we were able to pass information that was variable, would be changing all of the time, through the standard interface. And they were then able to accommodate on their side so their products could adapt to the changing information.
So the net effect of that is that a dynamic marketplace allows any buyer to buy any product from any supplier. So the product definition is abstracted from the interface. So they invest once in the APIs, in the investment in programmatic interfaces, and then they can make their products available and purchased through that same interface to an entire marketplace of different products that are vended in the same way. Now, in this Catalyst, we showed that the incredibly dynamic world of network function virtualization can really leverage this and expose the dynamic network technologies through that dynamic interface. So you wind up with a dynamic managed network being reflected into a dynamic marketplace, and you get an instant agile effect in terms of offers to customers.
One of the exciting points of this Catalyst is, even though we're on the sort of weedy technical side, one of the things that makes it interesting between us is the business doesn't really care about the weedy technical side, to be honest. They want products. Like you as a consumer, you just want products. You want to get an SLA against it. You want to have guaranteed service. That's what the carriers want as well. So what we're doing here, and the key word there was abstraction, was but in this interface is sort of hiding the implementation detail. Greg is telling us what he wants, what their customer from the marketplace wants, but not how to deliver it, right? So our system will work out how to optimally deploy the service, which functions to bring together to deliver and maintain that service. And the benefit is the carrier gets this virtualization capability today, right? So these are the biggest questions at this conference right now, is like, how do we achieve these benefits of carrier virtualization? How do we make them real? And it's by bringing together parties like this in sort of bigger ecosystems, right? Because the B2B exchanges, it's a whole kind of line of business. We're a whole nother kind of line of business, but they really come together sympathetically, right? They come symbiotically, right? To form a whole, and a whole that provides a lot of value to carriers.
So I know there are other companies involved in this catalyst as well. So were there any challenges in bridging some of those relationships together?
Not really.
No, I think we all work together
maybe
quite
the
well.
technologies
But it
rather.
is worth mentioning some of those other companies involved, and maybe we'll just start with our champions. And from our perspective, we had Verizon and AT&T as champions, because one of the key things the champions wanted to see was not just how this new world could be dealt with the Catalyst, but how backward compatibility with the old world could be achieved. So as a part of this marketplace demonstration, we're also supporting the traditional legacy North American ASR format B2B. So we're showing backward compatibility, but we're showing compatibility between the legacy North American B2B specification and the really dynamic forum-based B2B, and so a path forward for the entire North American market for B2B, which we hope will garner some interest. So they're the champions involved from our perspective. There were also a couple of other vendors involved in this that Dave can run through.
So we're also really pleased. Actually, and the collaboration was really quite good. So I think that's actually one of the great pleasures of this Catalyst initiative that TMF has, actually, is that it drives innovation through collaborations. And I actually do mean that sincerely, because these end up being very tight engineering-based relationships, right, to deliver something very specific. So we had the pleasure of working with Converse, that acted in this case as a BSS, or to provide dynamic billing services. And we also worked with Quasmos, that provided DPI, or deep packet information. And all of those, again, it was a deep engineering level. The communications were very efficient, partially, again, because we were using TMF standard interfaces, so those facilitated communications between all of the parties. And everything in telecom now is all about ecosystems, right? No one vendor is doing everything. And so that's another part of this story, is that you're not talking about, there's some very large companies, obviously, here at this conference. What you're talking about is a set of very smaller but very innovative companies delivering real end-to-end value, right, that even the largest companies here cannot do. So I think that's also an exciting message to the carriers as well. So, Converse, Quasmos, Digit, all of us collaborating and doing that in very short order, right? We're all busy on our own day-to-days.
You have a full-time
Yeah,
job.
we have full-time jobs, and we came together to do this in the couple-of-month window, and to deliver and perform, and it actually works, right? It's not just
you won.
And hey, we won. That's what.
So I have to ask, final question, how do you plan to outdo yourself? You're two-time award winners now. What's next?
Gosh, you have to give us a little while to think about what we do next, don't you?
Of course, there's always next year.
Yeah. So, I think since we both won awards twice, I think we both probably have ambition to win again. So I think this just probably sets the bar a little higher for us, because it's going to be a little harder for us to get it. But I think you found the kind of people that might just be chasing that.